Good evening, Clashers and Clashettes. Andrew, 19 plays. Congratulations on the 2,700 trophies. Welcome to the official Supercell Clash Royale North American Open broadcast of NGE Studios in Burbank, California. Representing Frozen Peak, I'm Christian.
And Builders Workshop, I'm Ella.
And today we are bringing you guys yet again even more of the top Clash Royale plays you will ever see in your life. We are at Coronation Day number 8.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome night. Over 500,000 of you guys over the next couple of weeks will be playing in our open qualifiers, which were happening all day today.
That's right.
And you will move on to nights like tonight if you're lucky and skilled and talented enough, which is the Coronation Day. Woo. Tonight a little bit later than usual.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us anyway.
Yeah, welcome, guys.
And from the Coronation Day, 16 people will move on to the arena battles, and from there, 8 will move on to the crown duels, and one amazing, awesome winner will take home $15,000 out of $100,000 prize pool and a trip to Supercell HQ.
That's right, guys. $15,000 was on the line, but for these top 8 players tonight that make it to every Coronation Day, they are playing for something too. $2,000 for first place, second place taking home $500, third and fourth place taking home $300 each, and finally, 5th through 8th, $100. Making it here is an incredible feat. These guys are the best players right now in the scene, and we have 8. Before we get to tonight's top 8, let's quickly go over the rules of our duels here at the Clash Royale North American Opens. We run the standard tournament cap with the double deck submission. Each contestant will submit 2 unique decks to us, and by unique, we just mean at least 4 cards different from the other. To move on, it is super easy. You just gotta beat your opponent with both of your decks before they beat you with theirs, and boom. You're one step closer to the top. I mean, it's easy for them because they're absolute geniuses. So now, let's take a look at our top 8 for tonight. Up first, we have T-Bone versus Ash.
Then we have Awesome Adam versus Mr. Man's dad.
Then we've got Swood versus Manly.
And finally, Razor versus Epru.
That's right. These are our 8 players tonight, so you guys get comfortable. It's a little later. Maybe you guys are watching from your pajamas. Hope you guys are ready for some amazing plays. But we are ready to go into this. Before we get into that, though, let's go over to the couch where we have
golem decks never really
they're too slow.
Playing a golem without just getting completely overrun. Yeah.
Right. All right. So that's, guys, what you guys probably are experiencing on the ladder tonight, though. Again, running the tournament cap. These are the meta makers. We've been seeing how starting again. You said there was no expos again tonight either.
Once again, no expos. Yeah. A good mixture of Royal Giant, Golem. We've got 1 Lava Hound deck, 1 Hog Lightning deck, and 2 Graveyard decks.
Yes, 2 of them?
That's right.
2 separate people?
2 different people are playing 1 Graveyard deck each.
So good.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for doing this. All right, so that was kind of a recap of yesterday. Let's talk about some of the things that are happening right now in the community. We have the King Cup tournaments that are starting tomorrow.
Yes, less than 24 hours.
Okay.
These are going to be really cool. It's a new type of challenge. So in the normal Grand and Classic challenges, you can build whatever deck you want, Ella, take some gems, go battle until you get either 12 wins or 3 losses. Tomorrow's King's Cup challenge is going to run for a limited time. The first entry is free, and additional entries are actually going to cost, I believe, 5 gems. It's gonna be
wow.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really nice for a lot of these people. But what's cool about it is that you're going to be given a deck. Even if you don't own the cards, you get to play. There's a couple different decks that are pre-built in there, and 6 of the cards are fixed, and 2 of them are totally random.
That's so awesome.
So you might get something like an X-Bowler deck, a bowler deck with X-Bow, and it includes.
You just have to figure it out.
Right, just figure it out on the fly, and you might even get legendaries like Miner, Ice Wizard, Princess.
I get my first legendary. I can play with a legendary.
Do it.
Absolutely. Round of 8 last time. I'm not sure, but he either made round of 8 or the round of 4. Did not make the finals last time.
Well, here we go in the round of 8. Swood versus Manly.
Who's gonna take it?
Manly is playing a minor fireball, kind of a minor cycled, actually very, very low elixir cost. Not a single card in this deck costs more than 4, and that's just a single fireball. So a very fast-paced minor deck looking to go under other strategies just like this. Whenever Golem's played, just get right in there as aggressively as possible. Going up against Golem, Baby Dragon, Lightning. The new darling.
You playing Cannon?
Yeah, buddy. Look at that.
I'm actually
right
I'm going to be, that's actually a pretty good Golem defense right there.
I mean, think of all the Hog Lightning decks we've been seeing recently, right? You can Lightning a cannon, but it's not too great to do so. The greatest part about Clash Royale is just when you think a card, like, quote-unquote, isn't good anymore, it comes back because people start to forget about it. They don't account for it. Yeah. So they play decks that are inadvertently weak to unplayed cards, and then those cards become good again. That's sort of what happened to Baby Dragon. If you see people start to switch back to Musketeer, maybe that ever-popular Baby Dragon becomes less good.
500 damage from the miner, and that's about the most you can expect from it if it's getting shot at by the tower. And so far, I think they're just going to be trading back and forth Yetis.
I love that Ice Golem. Blowing up the skeletons has been a huge improvement to that card. I mean, this is just nice. Like, boink, pretty useful.
Is there a
Let's see if another
miner
miner comes
following
down.
the guards? Nope. Baby Dragon does really well against guards.
I think Manly's deck is going to be very dangerous as well once we hit into double elixir time because it can be really fast. It can almost cast another miner as soon as the first miner push goes down. Ooh, Ice Golem just in the nick of time.
Gonna slow down the golem, and I think that's gonna be a key interaction because now it doesn't get the big death damage on a tower. Gets a few tiny little swings on a golem ice, but nothing too grievous. I think this miner, well placed on the miner, really wants to make sure he attracts the middle units, the middle placed units like the tombstone and the skeletons. That allows the supporting troops to get much closer, and this archer gets a shot for it.
Great fireball there. I mean, really countered any sort of counter push that would have come up. Killed the Mega Minion. Tombstone was dead to the other supporting troops, and even though he didn't do too much damage on the tower, he doesn't have to worry about that counter punch coming at him. And it looks like another miner's going to come down.
Here it is. Baby Dragon already locking onto it. The cannon is placed really early on, and that's going to expose it to the Mega Minion. All of a sudden, that cannon's not long for living in the world, but
Pretty valuable fireball there. I mean, he hit a lot of stuff. I mean, he hit Mega Minion, Ice Golem, Baby Dragon, Golem.
I think Swood actually hit that point where his deck starts really getting ahead in terms of double elixir, and Manly has to very inefficiently defend against these golems, and it actually makes it to the tower. There's one big swing, there's two big swings, and now the death damage is going to come through.
No.
Baby Dragon cleaning up the archer.
That's it. I think what he wanted to do there was actually fireball the Golemites as soon as they come out and wipe them off the board. And unfortunately, the fireball was a little too soon, hit the Golem and caused it to die, but then the Golemites came out full health.
All right, there we go. Swood picking up game number 1 in our 3rd round of 8 here. Again, one of these two players will be moving on to the semi-finals. All right, one thing I want to talk about, since you kind of you kind of teased Marcel P giving you a tough time about leaking elixir. What was his? What was your conversation? What did you guys talk about?
it was a rather long conversation. He was lecturing me about how I'm a big dummy dum dum, which is fair. I don't disagree.
You are not a dummy.
But
Why am I
Marcel
taking
P,
advice
he's not
from
a
you?
dummy dum-dum.
Because
Tell Marcel P to hit me up.
You're right. It goes,
Marcel P, tell me how to build my decks.
Right, it goes right in order. No, what he was pointing out was that every card in these decks are very specific, have exact matchups you want to pair them up against. Archers, Baby Dragon, Mega Minion, all very different cards. There's not a lot of redundancy in those effects, right? It's not like, oh, I have Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Mega Minion, so I can play one, and I'll always have the other if something comes up. So the danger is that if you do something like Tombstone first, well then great, they go down the other lane. You play Mega Minion, great, they can Hog Rider the other lane. You split the Archers, that's maybe okay, except that you're pretty much walking into a 1.5 elixir loss on both sides, and then if they play something like a Mega Minion, you don't have your Archers to kill theirs, so they go like giant Mega Minion, and you're like, cool, I don't have a way to really pull this Mega Minion
What are you supposed to do? Just wait until the other person, just have a standoff until somebody plays a card?
He admitted the log wasn't the worst idea, especially because you have Bowler as well, so you do have
you're
a knockback.
not a dummy dum-dum, Romeo.
So I don't remember if he had it in his hand, but he said, that, okay, well maybe you could just log for the damage and you know, try to do that and force him to do something. So.
Hopefully you have that in your hand then, I guess.
Yeah, so there you go. If you are leaking elixir, don't feel super bad. That just means you are a genius waiting for the opportune moment. Right now, Swood looking for that moment. One more game, and he'll move on to the semifinals. Let's see if Manly can come back to tie it up.
For what it's worth, I still think splitting Archers would have been fine. All right, so we've got Ice Golem and Archers coming down the left lane. That's a pretty good push. I mean, it's only 5 elixir, and if it's totally undefended, which I'm not saying it's going to be, but if it's undefended, that could probably do 1,500 plus damage to a tower.
You know what the miner reminds me of these chip decks? It reminds me of the Shawshank Redemption.
You and your obscure references.
Yeah, okay.
That was movie of the year, 1996. Not that obscure. Won the Academy Award, man.
Just comparing
The miner
things to
is
war
digging his
and
way
movies
through the
and-
structure.
Oh, like Andy Dufresne?
Yeah.
I see.
I get it.
Now you guys get it?
The difference is he doesn't pop up and like rip his shirt open.
That's true.
But hey, maybe for like a special edition, Supercell. Huh?
That's the YMCA, the Village People miner.
Yep.
They had a construction worker.
There you go.
It's not magic, it's a shovel.
Here it comes. And a free.
That's a phrase to quote. It's not
Now, I love
magic,
the log.
it's a
Oh,
show.
wow. So here's the thing, though. Even though he is stopping these pushes, I feel like he's spending a little bit more elixir than he would want. He had to, actually I guess that was a log and a zap, that was only 4 elixir to stop that. That's pretty decent.
That's what's amazing. Is like Log is so cheap. It is such a good card.
Yeah. Oh, his arrows first. So 5 elixir to stop 6 elixir, took a little damage. Man, it's kind of a push, I guess. But it does show that so many decks now are running 3 spells, often 2 cheap ones, like log or zap and an arrow, some combination of those two, that it makes it really hard to play expensive troops that happen to die to one or both of those spells. We don't see nearly as many minions or minion hordes or even barbarians that we used to, because so many decks are able to run like log plus fireball and wipe out your barbarians pretty easily.
We haven't seen, I don't think we've seen barbarians yet.
I do not believe there's been a debut of the barbarians.
No, someone.
Somebody bring it.
Someone. They want to play.
Sunday's
Too many
Barbarian
bowlers.
Day.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's super
yeah.
true.
Barbs versus bowler, very sad day all around. Yeah.
What exactly does a bowler say now?
Actually, he says something like bowl, like bowl, like he said. I think he's saying the word bowl. Because his old sound effect had like the bowling pin knockdown sound effect.
Right.
But I think that might have been too obscure.
The next time this bowler attacks, can we have a moment of silence just to see?
We're listening.
All right. Just, it'll take a while. Oh, hold on.
Yeah. It's something said bowling.
It's not quite as
Supercell, please.
uplifting as it was before.
Actually,
I definitely like the whole wheat, as OJ would call it.
whole
Wheat.
All right.
Healthy.
Giant Musketeer coming across the left side for Swood. And Musketeer is actually another card that we haven't seen a ton of. We've
Check it
been
out,
starting
Tom.
to see it with Giant Bowler kind of holding up what used to be for Giant Poison kind of the core set of cards. Musketeer was very, very core to that deck. And I think it still does have a justifiable place in the meta against things like Mega Minion especially.
Especially Mega Minion. And of course the up and rising Baby Dragon. So we're pretty even going into overtime here. Both towers, the Manly's left tower and Swood's right tower, nearly at the same amount of health. The minion cycles are going to be pretty good, but of course you're going to have to do 2 to 3 of them, and you can't die to a random giant push along the way. So Manly has to play his cards very safely here, not walk into too many bad lightnings.
Man, that giant just narrowly escaped the Ice Golem slow after it popped and allowed it to get 2 swings. I imagine that if a slow had landed, I feel like it wouldn't have gotten a swing at all.
Very good point. Those archers do a good amount of sustained DPS. Thinking, oh no! The bowler gets turned around, the guards are up top!
Wow!
The guards are doing a ton of damage to the bowler, and it needs to stand strong, and it barely does. Tombstone helping it out just a little bit. But this game is coming down to the wire. Both players are pretty even. Giant bowler versus a minor chip.
Not as evenly matched as you could hope for.
Yeah. Manly, again, trying to stay alive right now. If he loses this one, he is out, and Swood will be moving on.
I like to point out that the cannon's so much better than Tombstone when everyone's running log, because you don't get that sort of hog log thing we saw where the log just completely aces your Tombstone. He tried to log the cannon, it survived with a good amount of health.
That's it.
Oh, lightning.
That's it.
I was like, here's the King Tower. What's he doing? That makes sense.
Good game.
There it is. Swood picking up game number 2 in our first 2-0 of Coronation Day number 8. He is moving on to be our 3rd semifinalist. Good job, Swood. Well done. Well done, Swood. Congratulations. One step closer to $2,000. That's a sweet day.
So, Rainey, talk to me a little bit more about that cannon. You're kind of cringing that he was using it.
Cannon, well, the cringe was just the cringe was just that it's so rarely seen now, and for the longest time Cannon has just kind of been put to the wayside. And I think actually one of the biggest reasons was because before poison was so prominent, almost anywhere you place a cannon, your cannon would get poisoned, your tower would get poisoned, and cannon is really relying on shooting fast, right? Yep. Once you put that poison down, it shoots like it's, getting paid for halftime, right? And so...
Well, if Cannon, or if Baby Dragon can make a comeback, then Cannon can make a comeback, right?
That's true. And for 3 elixir only, the Cannon actually did a lot against things like both the Giant and the Golem in these matches that we've been seeing. Ken has been doing fantastic, I think.
Well, let's go and pull up our first replay where we've got the double Golem here.
Double trouble, double Golem is a really big indication. I mean, just look at how many supporting troops are live on the field right now with the Golemites tanking. That's a big indicator that you are getting overpowered by a Golem deck right now, especially this deep into double elixir time. This is the common winning situation for a Golem deck where you can't put out enough damage to actually kill the thing. I mean, look at that. 4 archers on the field, played the fireball, still could not take down that Golem before it got to the tower.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, Manly's deck, and you kind of see this on both sides, had a really hard time both on offense and defense, was kind of playing with, like, pillow punches. You know what I mean? He's got the archers, guards, see Lumberjack v Graveyard in the finals.
Well, one of the things also, as you guys can see the decks here, I want to talk about, Rumham, you brought this up yesterday, is that, I can't remember who it was, but someone talking to you about when he comes to the finals, or when he comes to the top 8, he just starts getting really nervous. Obviously, when the lights come on, he starts playing less and less. So there is, I would say, an advantage to being here multiple times. You've experienced that pressure. Hopefully you're more calm. You can kind of get out of your head. It's just another game. So that is definitely something to be thinking through for these guys.
That's true in a lot of sports, actually. You rarely see a team win the championship on their first time to the playoffs. They normally get to the playoffs, lose in the first round, come back the next year, make it a little further, lose in that round, and then they have the experience, they have the mental fortitude to push through for the victory. That does certainly favor Mr. Swood. Yeah. But then again, when you come from Clout Gaming like Razor does, you're playing against some of the best day in and day out.
Sure.
And maybe you're not as intimidated by these players.
We've also seen someone come back and come back and come back and come back.
Marcel P.
And he still hasn't won yet, so, I mean, maybe it means nothing.
But there's also 8 more coronations to go, and if I think there was anyone who has yet to win a coronation who is the most favored to take one of those last 8 spots, probably Marcel P.
Come on, buddy. You can do it.
All right, well, here we are, guys. Our second semifinal, Swood versus Razor. It's a best of 3. Let's see who's going to take it all the way to the finals.
Swood, another member of Takeover, so Takeover is actually the second most prominent clan, I would say, in these tournaments.
They're excited.
Would it take over?
They are trying to take over not just Clash Royale, but I believe the world.
Oh, okay.
Earth.
Wow, look at Lumberjack go. The tower's not locked on him, so he is free to just swing away.
Lumberjack. I'm a lumberjack.
If he gets close enough. Oh, he is close enough to the tombstone. For what it's worth, that will spawn skeletons a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Oh, the log comes in, and now the golemites are going to make it. Can they do 500 damage?
Ooh, what a knockback of that explosion.
And Magic 8 Ball says doubtful. And it was right. 2 Force 2-8 does not match 2-0-1-0.
And they're about even elixir. 1 elixir advantage for Swood, but he finds his tower down by about 400 hit points. I think you'd rather have the 400 health on his tower than that 1 elixir.
The more I see golems placed like that, the less I believe in them.
Far way back by the King Tower?
I actually think both these players, well, you know, I'm not competitive at all in any way, shape, or form, but just based on what we've seen in the Coronation days, I actually feel like this is not the ideal play for the golem. I think you want to play something like the Ice Golem in the back, and then the Archers, and then when it's getting closer to the front, then you play your Golem.
I think what you're going to see here, the player who's going to win this exchange is the one who can kill that Golem quicker, and then play a second Golem at the river to back it up.
They're so low elixir. Both of them are so low elixir right now.
Oh, actually, neither of them have enough elixir. We're not in double elixir time yet. Oh, actually, that push resolved very quickly.
Yeah.
Sometimes we see those big tanky armies just crash into each other, and it takes 20, 30, 40 seconds for the board to get clear again. But in that time, neither team really had a good support. They both just slaughtered each other very quickly and went back to even.
Well, hey, Ray, it looks like he heard you a little bit. He put an Ice Golem first.
He did.
And then he played the Golem.
He did. I think it all comes down to how quickly you can convert your supporting units that are destroying your opponent's Golem back to assist the front line to help. The thing that I like about the Ice Golem is, just like the Golem itself, it actually ignores the supporting troops, so it's actually kind of helping out. But I feel like you want to put the Ice Golem in front because really you want that death damage to contribute.
No, the log was a little too late and actually missed the finishing off the tombstone, which allowed that swarm of skeletons to kill the golemites really quickly, letting the red backline troops go to meet their tank. Even though he's dead, they are making a push and trying to do some damage on that tower.
So the big thing you notice is that when Razor played that golem push, he actually got a little bit farther than Swood, and I think that is all attributed to the fact that it had the Ice Golem to assist.
One thing cool thing to know as well, we have Razor able to cycle so fast. He dropped a Lumberjack that benefited from the rage that the other Lumberjack was built.
I love it. That's the best part of double elixir time. Supercell, please, double elixir King Cup challenge thing, special challenge.
Supercell, at 10 seconds, make it be quadruple elixir.
Whoa. So
Elixir.
we see why Baby Dragon's so good right there. Just survived that lightning and forces another card to come down to actually finish it off, because otherwise, it's going to keep fighting.
I think the choice for Razor was actually the wrong choice. He tried to assist his offensive push and spend no elixir on defense. Big problem is Golem on its own can really knock a tower down, and we're seeing that right here. Just one more hit, the death damage, and that is definitely in spell cycle range. in these situations, you do not actually want to invest tons of elixir in your aggressive push because it's so easy to stop. It's so easy to defend. Things get very cost effective when you're playing on your own end of the map. And the fact that Razor put so much elixir there and Swood just filled his board with defensive elixir, the single golem there, even with the tombstone, was just assisted by a log after the fact. And you saw how effective that push was for Swood.
What do you think his MVP card was there?
I know the MVP play was right there at the end. I don't know if it's going to show up in the replay, but if you go back and rewatch it on the VOD or something like that, he had a low health Mega Minion that survived in the middle of his field, started to counter push back. 2 archers were in the middle, and they were locked onto the golems and golemites. If the Mega Minion would have actually drifted towards the middle, the tower would have shot it down. Instead, Swood played a lightning on tower, archer to kill them, bring that low health Mega Minion back towards the tower and away from the enemy tower, and that Mega Minion was crucial in doing so much of the damage that brought it within spell range.
Wow, well done, Swood. 1 game up, 1 more game, and you're going to make it to the finals. Let's see if you can do it, or will Razor come back and tie it up 1-1? Rainey, you drew something earlier. Is this relevant now, or is it going to be relevant later? You let me know, because this looks, again, abstract art to me. I don't even know how to... Is it relevant now?
It's talking about Royal Giant and Tombstone, so,
cool. So
we'll probably wait.
We'll
probably wait for the match to be
finals.
over.
I don't think there's any Royal Giants left, but well, actually, there's no Royal Giants left. Actually, with the finals, no matter what happens, is going to feature at least a golem matchup, a golem mirror match for the 2nd Coronation Day in a row.
That's right.
Golem is running.
Golem's the new Expo.
Dang, yeah.
Yeah, Golem has bullied out
Taking
the Expo.
over.
Yeah.
So what do you think's going to be next then?
Well, that's actually the question. You brought up that you know, like canon, right? There's cards that go so long unnoticed that people are like, oh, they kind of play
Said
into
archers
them.
too.
Archers, yeah. Archers were out for a long time, and the
I think Rage Spell. I think that's the next one that's going to be
Rage coming back?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'd love to see come back? It's one of my favorite cards, Goblin Hut.
Goblin
Hut.
I like Goblin.
It's fun. It's actually not bad. Like, it's really, really good in the early arenas. Furnace is more popular, but I think in a lot of ways, Goblin Hut can be better, especially with all these big tanky decks, because the Furnace things just blow up. The Goblins can build up and continually do more and more work.
Well, as we know, anything goes in the Goblin.
That's true. Anything. And we don't talk about it.
We don't talk about that. All right, Swood again, 1 up against Razor.
Mega Minion getting taken for a walk.
Giant gets placed in front of the bowler. The Lumberjack does a little bit. Here comes a log, but it's not going to take down the...
Log was way too early. I think, well, I guess the bowler did clean it up, so it wasn't too bad.
1 punch. And 1 bowl, not towards the tower. Still, in terms of an opening push, I don't think Swood is too upset.
No, not at all. No, as long as you don't take a ton of damage early on, you can treat that, oh, okay, I took 200 damage. Let me treat that as gathering information. Now I know a little bit more about my enemy's deck, how they're going to play their cards, what they're going to react to, and do better on the next push. Once you start taking around 500 or so damage on a push, then it's like, maybe not worth it. I think I would rather have the health. But 1 fireball, fine.
The deceptive tankiness of Giant is something I am always punished on, because he'll get close to my tower. I'm like, oh, he's a sliver left. He's probably gonna die. He'll maybe get 1 hit. And he'll get like 3 hits in. I'm like, so tanky.
Yeah, all those health bars are the same size. It's like it looked like he only had a ½ inch left on him, and there's way more.
Fun facts.
All right, Giant bowler being set up again.
The bowler survives with a sliver.
And keep in mind that Swood is on a timer, right? Once this hits double elixir, we've seen enough Giant bowler matchups to know that it starts getting worse and worse and worse for a Giant bowler deck. And he needs to make something big connect, trying to shove that Giant away with the Ice Golem. And I think that bowler was doing a ton of damage. 897, but we've seen Golem decks come back from worse.
Swood does have a 4 elixir advantage, though, so he's still maintaining that kind of death grip on the game right now. One thing that's actually hurting Razor is that unlike some of the other Giant decks that we've seen pull this off, he's running both Ice Golem and Lumberjack, which gives the bowler a lot of targets. When those decks would come back and win, they often had things like Baby Dragon that were very crucial to the comeback maneuver, and that's not so much in this deck.
Ooh, Archer, one of the Archers actually walking into its doom, and the arrows will actually eliminate it, but now Lightning comes across, and that Mega Minion is going to swing down the other, and it's going to win the Mega Minion duel too, and this Mega Minion is doing work. Now this Lumberjack comes through, and will chop down the Giant, and so almost completely defended, and units are now starting to spill over to the other side. This will translate into another Golem for Swood. The question is, can he start spinning around the momentum into his own favor and start playing golems back to back.
Yeah, when you have the ability to keep your defensive troops alive and use them on the next push, under they repel a push, but then they're used in the counterattack, that's one of the best ways to generate massive elixir advantage. Because it's almost like now this giant, look at this. This is effectively a 14 elixir push.
He's still alive?
For free. It's the same bowler.
Oh, and I think he's going to have to log to push that away, but I don't know if he has it in cycle,
One
and that's
more
it.
punch. Swood. 2-0ing Razor, picking up the victory, going on to meet Ash into the finals.
He did so well maintaining pressure, and something that we saw a lot of giant bowler decks failing against golem decks, Swood was able to overcome. And I think a lot of that was probably due to the fact that you didn't have Baby Dragon, which doesn't necessarily do a ton of damage, but is very sustainable and very tanky. That over a duration of time, which is a long time because Golem is the health pool that you're trying to chew through. That takes a long time to defeat the Golem. The Baby Dragon is constantly just shooting at whatever it sees. Interesting.
I think the Lumberjack there was also, while it was great in getting Razor to this point, was kind of a liability in that matchup. When you see the Golem decks with a lot of air units, it's like, great, the bowler doesn't do much. It does a kind of wimpy amount of damage to the Golem. But there was a lot of stuff in Razor's deck that were getting knocked back.
All right, let's take a look at our replay here. Again, it's a combo we see a lot. It's Golem, it's Lightning.
Yep. I've given very succinct descriptions of why Lightning is good with big bodies, and we'll probably see it again here.
Lightning. This is what I was talking about.
Oh, that's it. That's exactly right.
Didn't go into the tower and was able to safely approach and do quite a good amount of damage. Chops that Lumberjack to death.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think, and Giant Bowler, so difficult against the Golem deck to really trade efficiently enough that you can constantly just keep throwing giants at the opponent. And look at this bowler. Sliver of health, the last health point is the one that...
Running arrows. Swood's Giant Bowler deck does have arrows in it, and that can be very, very useful.
Yeah, you're right.
But at the same time, Ash has gotten here with his Lava Hound deck, walking over Giant and Golem decks the whole way. So, I don't know. I could see it go either way.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would like to see Lava Hound win just so I could have the faith that my deck could win.
And along with that, Graveyard is in Ash's deck as well. So this might be the first time we see Graveyard in a winning deck here at the Clash Royale North American Open. But Rainey, what about you? Who you thinking has the slight advantage? Based on play, based on deck?
Worth mentioning, Giant Bowler has yet to win. Even though it's been very popular,
Really?
it has not actually been in any of the winning players' decks.
Okay.
It's made to the finals a handful of times.
But it's never won.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
If there's anybody
new
that makes me
winners.
believe it's probably going to be Swood, based on the way he played against Razor, means that there's something that Swood is doing right. Of course, what does it mean if you're going against a Golem deck that has something like Baby Dragon, right? That might make the difference. So we'll have to see. It's hard to call. I think the advantage would have to go to Ash in my mind.
Okay, all right. So it looks like both players for Ash Swood, though. Again, just making it here is fantastic. Second place, taking home $500. First place, one of these two players will be taking home $2,000 today. They'll be moving on to the arena battles and then to the crown duels from there. $15,000 for first place on the line out of a total $100,000 prize pool and the chance to go visit Supercell HQ. That's what these guys are playing for. And also
Lovely
glory.
Helsinki, Finland.
Oh, Helsinki. The crispest air
Let's
anyone
all go.
could breathe.
That's actually super true. It's really, really nice there.
All right, here is the finals.
Food's delicious. People are wonderful.
Altar of Elites versus Takeover as far as the clans. So, Takeover looking to start coming back to tie up Reddit Alpha for the number of players that have made the Coronation.
Ooh,
Day
the cycle
champions.
of skeletons. Look at them. Look at them. They're just walking around in circles.
Oh, it looks so cool.
Ring around the road.
They're just attracted to each
pretty funny.
This is great.
You know, I think we should always end our Coronation days with a dance-off.
Yeah.
And that's
it.
they're getting it started right away.
Thanks, Tombstone.
Oh, wow. River Golem.
Golem on the river.
That's a new card. The
Don't
River
see a
Golem.
lot of River Golems.
Good old River Golem.
Oh,
Mega Man's
will
chopping
the
it up.
Mega Minion kill it in time?
It's
Oh,
gonna
we got
do
the
some
death damage.
But that Mega Minion's definitely going to come back. And actually, bad news for Swood, no Inferno Tower in either deck.
All right, here comes the Miter to try to clear out the archers.
It does, and it's still alive.
Wow.
Oh, no, don't run away.
No, come back. All right.
Pups do lock onto the tower, and that's going to do a
It's gonna be
decent
so
amount of
many
damage.
guys.
And look at the Mega
The
Minion
tower's
from
gone.
downtown.
The tower's gone right there, getting melted.
Oh,
An
wow.
early lead for Ash. Only a minute and 40 left to go.
That
No,
Mega
Ash-
Minion had a Terminator walk from downtown and just walked up, killed a bunch of stuff, and kept
looking
on
at
walking.
Ash struggled in his earlier rounds, winning both of them 2-1, so he like took an early loss and then have to come back and win. But ever since maybe game 1 of the top 4, he has been in Terminator mode, just crushing the last 2 games in order to advance into the finals. And right here, only a minute and a half into the first game, takes the tower.
There's the Lava Hound drop on top, and that's going to turn that Baby Dragon away. Means the minions and the Mega Minion can do a lot of damage. Archers lock on, though, and will take down a few, and now the Golem is free on the tower, gets the death damage, and the Golemites are close enough to do a little bit of swinging and a little bit of hurting, and the only thing really stopping that from happening is the skeletons that are popping out one at a time from the tombstone. I don't know if that was a worth it trade. You're only now just not even to the crown tower on the left side. You're 500 health away. If you're trying to go for a 3 crown, you need a much more convincing push, I think.
One of the things okay, so he's got a little bit of better setup now because he has a good backline that's already attacking the goal, and he's got to get rid of those archers, or the archers are going to do a great job picking off.
Oh no! Oh no!
Baby Dragon takes out the minion horde just like that.
We see how key Baby Dragon is. I think that tower's going down, and maybe Ash needs to switch to a 3 crown plan here.
I think it's incredibly unfortunate. Ash would have liked to play the minion horde a little earlier while the Lava Hound was still attracting the Baby Dragon's attention.
Wow.
And this is a big push. Has to spend lightning to stop it. That's not what you want to do because now there's another golem on the board.
Wow.
Do you just go for 3 crowns here?
He could. He could go down the left. Oh, he's going to go down the right lane. Go down the right lane, so it's pretty much the opposite side. It's going to be really hard because you can't really play the support cards behind the golem because they've got to be on the right side to try to stop all that other stuff.
Come on, Lava
Baby
Hound.
Dragon, though. Proving why it's so good in these golem decks. It clears out your biggest fear minions, and now this is at least 15 elixir worth of stuff pushing in on the tower.
Golem Login. That's a stretch. But the Golem plus Log combo takes down the tombstone and eliminates the skeletons that pop out afterwards, gives very good uptime on the tower, plus the archers will help out, and the Ice Golem is coming to give it the friendly hug. Ice Golem for the killing blow. Oh no!
What a turnaround for Swood.
Wow.
Swood using the GOG combo.
Shut down the Terminator there.
Yeah, I think that 2 things turned around that game, and it was actually the same play twice. Baby Dragon v Minion Horde.
Man.
Baby Dragon.
I
was like, what Baby Dragon is this?
That's a buff golem.
Oh, God.
Here's the thing.
That's pretty good.
He played Minion Horde hoping that the Baby Dragon would stay turned around and the Minion Horde could quickly kill the Baby Dragon. It doesn't have a lot of hit points.
Right.
But the Baby Dragon turned around just in time, and along with an Ice Golem explosion, just aced that Minion Horde. That's 5 elixir on the board, off the board, right away, barely did any damage.
Yeah.
And then later on in the game, same thing happened. Played a Minion Horde, Baby Dragon turned around along with a Zap or an Ice Golem, something like that. Ended up killing the Minion Horde almost immediately, and both times the Baby Dragon were crucial in the counter push that took the tower.
Right, and he was able to come back from that river golem that you guys were so upset about at the beginning.
It was an odd play, yeah, but that just shows, I mean, Golem is a deck that has a lot of inevitability. Like, if you're both just going to sit back and play Elixir behind your King Tower, Golem is the biggest, baddest rock on the block.
Yeah.
And those pushes were scary. You don't have log. You know what I mean? You have log. You don't have ways to kill those archers. Like, how do you remove the archers? How do you remove the Baby Dragon when lightning, log, zap isn't enough?
Yeah. One of the things I love about seeing that too is, again, going down so early, having a tower fall almost immediately. Usually we see no one come back from that. It's like, all right, well, that's it.
I think he even said good game.
Yeah, he was like, that was it. You know, I'm out. But Swood, not losing hope, picks up game number 1 again in the best of 5 here of the finals. He can still use the deck again, and it looks like he's going to.
You're right, so you can get up to 2 wins with each deck. Thinks the Golem deck is his best chance of victory.
Ooh, the Mega Minion locks onto the Golem, and that one Archer does survive and will continue contributing damage. And this Golem is actually going to make it to the tower. All the skeletons in the back are doing a lot of damage, but not enough. One swing, plus the death damage, and now it's the Golemites, and that's a huge connection for Ash.
Gog.
Get the good old Gog.
Good old Gog. The archers survived. If 2 Baby Dragon shots got on those archers, it would have gone down. Killed them before the second shot came in, and they were able to contribute and stop those Golemites. 23-22, and the Golemites are still attacking on Swood's tower.
Huge push by Ash. And Swood is being put in the back foot. The bear hug. Oh, it's coming for the hug on the tower. Oh no, but it's spookier than it seems because Graveyard is coming to assist, and with just the Mega Minion and the slowdown from the Ice Golem, the Graveyard was actually able to pile on a good number of skeletons and chip that down to 609.
I think he's happy with that too. Like, I don't think he's going, oh man, I could have gotten more damage on the Graveyard. I think that's pretty good.
I think so too.
But of course, he found himself in this situation last game with a good damage lead halfway through the game. Got to be very careful. The difference here is, again, how are you going to kill that baby dragon? That thing is tough. There is a Mega Minion. There's archers.
Okay.
Ice Golem in both of their decks. Tombstone in both decks. One big advantage for Ash is he's running Zap and Log. And that gives him a few more options in terms of killing some of those high-cost troops.
Golem makes its way across, and it's actually very, very healthy with the Ice Golem in the back, and I think this is Swood's big push.
Oh no, the baby dragon lives!
The baby dragon lives, and that's going to be able to defend against the Golem very, very well, plus the Mega Minion too, and so much damage being taken by Swood's Golem on Ash's tower, and we're only 40 seconds away. Graveyard coming up here, but that Ice Golem's going to tank up a fair bit. One Golem on the back gets a
He's gonna do enough.
good
It looks
stab.
like it will!
Man, Graveyard.
Evens it up, but a second Golem on the way.
You're right, and this low health Mega Minion still doing damage. That low health baby dragon was doing a lot of work before they finally take
I
it down.
think at this point, Swood has actually hit a critical massive units. I don't know if there's a way for him to clean this up. There's so much elixir on the board, and Swood can use his extended drop zone to continuously reinforce. I think this might be a 3-crown.
Ooh, Ash is doing everything he can to stop it. The Ice Golem starts to tank, and he can't hit that last archer who's chipped away.
There's the Tombstone. Good positioning, pushes those units away and keeps them off the tower for just a little bit, but 1,000 health left on that King Tower means that 3-crown is incredibly threatening.
And especially because Swood significantly ahead in terms of elixir. He was able to get a Golem down, and after the Golem was played, they were kind of close on their elixir, but he's going to race. It's overtime. Can he get there with a quick graveyard on the tower?
Interesting thing is the King Tower is actually contributing to killing down the skeletons, and having that extra line of attack makes Graveyard much less
not
effective.
looking good for Ash.
Uh-oh.
The Golem is still very, very healthy, and it can definitely do 1,000 points of damage. It's going to get 2 punches plus the death damage, and now the Golemites are on there. There's a good game, and I think it's over.
Just like that, Swood, 3-crowning. I think that's our third 3-crown out of ever. Out of all of our Coronation days. Congratulations, he picked up his second victory. He still has 1 to go, but his Golem deck is out. Swood's Golem deck
he heard us
done.
and was like, I'm gonna prove you guys wrong.
Yeah, he goes, oh, Ash is the player to watch? Oh, really? Oh, you think it's Ash? It's me. Now, we have seen players come back from a 0-2 deficit, get 3 games, because just in case their decks now, if Swood's final deck doesn't match up against one of Ash's deck and he wins with 1, it could bode poorly for him. Is there any deck that Ash is bringing that's going to have a hard matchup against Swood's final deck?
I think it's probably the Golem deck that is the worst matchup because of the Graveyard, the Ice Golem, against the Bowler. It also has got Log and Musketeer and things like that. I think the reason why Ash switched off of his Lava Hound deck is because he wanted the Lava Hound deck against the Giant Bowler deck. Okay. So he does have a pretty decent matchup there. I expect him to switch back to Lava Hound, probably crush the Giant Bowler deck maybe once, but that's still maybe like a 60-40 matchup. You could absolutely lose against Lava Hound, or with the Lava Hound deck. He's got to win twice with Lava Hound against Giant Bowler, and then goes into a crucial Game 5 with Golem Graveyard against the Giant Bowler deck.
Woo. One of the things I want, Randy, you mentioned that at that moment, Swood had like a critical mass of units where there was so many pouring down, and because you have that extended drop zone when you take down your enemy tower, he was able to reinforce. I would have lost right there if I were Ash. Ash actually found a way to defend it, which was super impressive. What was one of the key? What was the key way that he did it? Did you see what card he used?
I think one of the big things was placing the Graveyard defensively. Just the frequency of unit spawning meant that it kept a lot of the troops off of the tower, bought enough time for the King Tower and the Crown Tower to shoot down the troops that were already targeted onto the structures of Ash. And with a few more cards added on and having the Graveyard essentially being a tank for them, gave them enough lifetime to finally chip away at that health, and then pushing the final troops off that tower with the Tombstone was the last thing that Ash needed to survive a little bit more. But that was an expensive defense for him because he kept on losing cards. He kept on playing Elixir that got removed from the board while Swood's Elixir remained on the board.
Right, and I definitely agree that when you say critical mass like that, when there's so many units all bunched up, melee troops, things like Mini P.E.K.K.A, Lumberjack, Mega Minion, become significantly worse because there's a 1-second deploy time. You play them, some of those troops just get melted. They don't even take a swing. Things like you really have to rely on cards like Archers and Musketeer to save you there, but they don't do that much damage compared when there's Golem, Ice Golem, Archers in the back, Baby Dragon in the sky.
All right, well, right now, again, ladies and gentlemen, Swood can taste the $2,000. He is one game away from being Coronation Day 8 champion. Let's see if he can do it, or will Ash from Altar of Elites be able to maintain and come back from this 0-2 deficit.
And we've only seen one 3-0 sweep in the finals, and it was Swood's clanmate Flash.
What?
Oh,
Takeover.
true.
That's right.
All right, he's got some shoes to fill. All right, Swood.
There's a big log taking down all the skeletons, and now finally does the golem make it, and it's going to get the death damage on there, and the ice golem is going to die shortly after, slows down the bowler actually, and gives the golemites a few good punches.
Still not a huge fan of the river golem there, because if you're trying to go over the top of someone else's strategy, you really want to be like, okay, you're playing your king behind, I'm going to play the golem behind,
right, start
because
building.
I'm investing more elixir, I'm going to let the giant come across, and then I can kill the giant on my side while the golem is just starting to cross on your side. You don't really want your tank to be the first one to cross the river, especially in these head-to-head matchups.
Now, Ash, interestingly enough, not bringing Lava Hound.
Yeah, I'm actually, I mean, golem does have a better matchup from what we've seen, but I think that because he's relying a lot on this graveyard, and of course you got log and bowler and stuff being pretty good there, it's not as good as I think some of the other golem decks we've seen. But what do I know? Because that graveyard's going to take the tower down.
As we're talking, the tower on the side of Swood left going melted. 20 seconds now remain. Swood has to find something, or Ash is going to take this first game, or the third game of the finals.
Right. I think the key there is that bowler on paper matches up really well because he's got that big splash effect, but it's a 2.5-second wind-up time. It's a pretty slow attack speed.
Big thing for Swood there was he played the bowler and the log that completely ignored the golem pushing down the lane and tried to stymie the push that the graveyard was generating. When you play 8 elixir that does nothing to touch the golem, you put yourself in a very, very dangerous spot, because then we saw the golem make it to the tower and get a few big swings, and there were some even graveyard skeletons that were not in range of the bowler's boulder roll that got a few pokes off themselves. And I think that in that situation, you need a more efficient defense against graveyard, because committing 8 to stop 5 when there's another 8 elixir coming down your lane is not going to work.
So what went wrong there? Was my Lava Hound deck, would that have been better against that, or was it just misplaying his deck?
Who's playing the Lava Hound deck?
Ash, right?
That's a dunk. Sorry, I'm kidding. Actually, I don't know. I truly don't know why he decided to go with the Golem deck there. I was assuming that he would try to take 2 wins with the Lava Hound deck and then kind of try to win with that Golem deck, but he's already proved the win out now.
Now he's got it.
Maybe he can actually switch to Lava Hound,
just do it
catch him off
twice?
guard.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Ash is afraid of the arrows in the giant bowler deck, and that's what he's trying to avoid, basically. But you're going to have to pay the piper at some point, so... I don't know. He kind of has the option here. He could be a little tricky. He could play. He's got to win once with each of his 2 remaining decks. If your opponent is expecting Golem, we saw how the opening. Remember with Marcel Pino, the opening play can be kind of important here. So maybe you can switch it up. Have your opponent make a bad play early, because now you're playing Lava Hound when they think you're going to play Golem. Steal another win and go into game 5.
All right, well, we'll see if he can do that right now. Again, Ash trying to keep it alive. Swood still 1 more game away. If he can win 1, he'll take that $2,000, but Ash from Altar Elites looking to tie it up.
Oh, you're a good sport.
She is going to hurt you after the broadcast.
Yeah. My problem is that I'm the oldest sibling in my family, so I'm just used to like talking infinite trash.
Sure.
And I'm an only child. I have no.
You have the thinnest
defense.
skin.
I have nothing.
What is this?
What do I
Swood just
do?
lets it happen.
Whoa.
Oh my god, that is definitely not an alive tower anymore.
Well, he's looking to trade towers here because he's got the musketeer still at full health, and it looks like they're gonna trade towers because Ash only has 4 elixir, and I'm not exactly sure he's gonna. I mean, I can't.
Oh,
Defensive
okay.
It's not the best thing too, because unlike something like Skeleton Army, the bowler might kill one of them, but then they swarm and
Musketeer, stay alive! Oh, goes down there.
That was almost. I mean, he would have been better off zapping in that case. Zap would have done the same amount of damage there to the bowler and the musketeer. I feel like Ash had a huge advantage and sort of gave it away by casting the defensive graveyard as opposed to log, tombstone, a lot of other things.
Still taking damage for it.
Yeah, I know, right? So you going to try to 3 crown?
That's a pass River Golem.
Oh,
this is 9 elixir. I don't think he realizes that he's not as ahead as he thinks he is. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Behind by, I want to say 3 elixir, and he's paying for it now, although that golem is going to do a pretty good amount of damage.
He only has 5 elixir to defend what potentially could be a...
Oh, no!
Oh, no, where are you going? Where are you going? No.
Where's the Mega Minion?
Oh, no.
He has no elixir to play anything right now. Tombstone to try to, recharges the bowler. That's going to, man, it might have been too little too late, though. In terms of 3-crown brace, if a Giant gets played aggressively on that right lane, I don't know if Golem can be fast enough to actually take down Swood's King Tower, 2,000 health.
He needs to sit back and defend, try to stay alive here, and gain a little bit of an elixir advantage. That's a thing you could do.
Here's what's crazy. We just hit double elixir. All of this happened before double elixir.
No. It's too late. The log.
Just like that, Swood! Not only finishing out the game with a 3-crown, but that just won him the entire series. Swood is our Coronation Day 8 champion. That was mass chaos. That was mass chaos in that last match. What he could do, is he going to go for the 3rd crown? Yeah, he let that go. We're going to trade towers. Wow, congratulations, though. $2,000 to him.
What?
Rainy, Rumham, shall we explain?
I think that Ash fell apart. I think that twice in the series we saw that Ash had gained actually a very, very significant lead. In fact, I think in almost all the games that we saw in this finals match, Ash was able to take an early lead. But I think it was transitioning, the decision-making after he got that lead. How do you take that? So when we talk about you deal damage to a tower, right, you pay elixir.
Right.
Dealing damage to structures means you're paying elixir to do that. And so I think it was just when Ash had to pay back that elixir, when Swood was really making him, hey, I'm here, here's my return, here's my gift to you. Ash did not know how to deal with that. He wasn't making the right decisions, and like Rumham identified, the graveyard on defense, I think there were better cards to play while your tower is still alive and the bowler and the musketeer are attracted to the tower. There are better cards you can play to immediately kill those cards so that, okay, maybe you lose your tower, but your king tower is completely clean, and you've gotten rid of the damage on the board.
Yeah, two mistakes lost in that game. The defensive graveyard against the musketeer bowler, and then casting the golem, going for the 3-crown when he thought that he wasn't as far behind in elixir as he was. He was really far behind in elixir when he did that, and it opened him up to a pretty bad counterplay.
So no graveyard win tonight.
Ooh, but it's getting closer.
But,
it's made the top 4 before, now it's made the finals.
And also, we have no A. Swood knocking out our chance of having the perfect alphabet.
Oh.
Bring it in the end.
I did say it, though. Swiggity Swoody's coming for that trophy.
He's coming straight for that big trophy.
And look at this. I mean, there's just so much stuff that Swood has coming down the lane on the left side, on the right side. You just don't have enough elixir to block both of them, and Archer's just pinging away as they can, but don't do enough damage to take it down. Graveyard being played here is not as bad an idea as before, but then you get punished by lightning, and all of a sudden you're down 5 elixir, and your troop just got removed.
Wow.
It was him trying to cycle back to that tombstone and playing it just a little too late. If the giant had turned around and fought the tombstone, probably could have killed the giant and lived to fight another day. Granted, your king tower's in lightning range, you're probably dead at that point, but maybe you always want to buy every bit of seconds that you can in order to try to make a comeback there. And unfortunately, it was 2 mistakes back-to-back that put Ash behind by, I'd say, as much as 6 or 7 elixir.
Wow.
And that's a really hard hole to dig yourself out of.
And just like that, Swood taking that championship for Coronation Day. Let's go ahead and pull up the bracket so we can walk through just the story of this night. Rainy, what happens?
There was a graveyard.
Yeah.
The graveyard made it very, very the graveyard made it very far. And the Lava Hound deck, actually, both of those decks were doing quite well. And I think on Swood's side, the first place winner of the tournament here went through some very, very tough opponents. I mean, Razor was doing really, really well in terms of just having an overall strategy and playing his cards at the right time and making sure he has elixir enough to play combos that he wants. His hot rider was very fantastic, and Swood was able to overcome that, and eventually Swood was also able to defeat Ash, who had good decks, but punish them on decision-making, really.
Yeah, and our first giant bowler deck won.
Hey! Welcome to
Congratulations.
Welcome to the finals.
So not only is Swood taking home $2,000 and a chance to go to the crown duels and a total reason to call us all out and say that he's awesome even when we said he wasn't going to win, he's going to go down in Clash Royale history.
That's right.
So if you want to be like him, go to ClashRoyaleOpen.com and just play and win, maybe.
Yeah, play, win tons of money.
And
All you have to do is beat the best players
in the game. That's it. Super easy, guys. Got ClashRoyaleOpen.com. We hopefully will see you here next. And next time, we are going to be broadcasting. So tonight's Thursday, Next is going to be Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are back a little bit earlier, so you guys can...
Go to bed earlier.
Yeah, you guys
we all need it.
You guys can go to sleep earlier. And then again, after that, we are going to Sunday, Monday 6, same time, Wednesday 6, and then again Thursday, 8 more. We are now halfway done.
Yes.
Halfway done the Clash Royale North American Open. It's been a fantastic journey so far. We hope to see you guys here the next time. Well, on behalf of everyone here at the Clash Royale North American Opens, officially presented by Supercell, broadcasted out of the NGE studios in Burbank, California, that is Rumham and Rainey.
I'm Ella.
I'm tired.
Having most ridiculous night.
It's very, very
Let's
late.
get some.
It's
Yeah.
very after
Let's do
dark.
some evil skeevers.
Evil what?